The Islamic School of Greater Kansas City is a private school accredited by the state of Missouri. It has earned its national accreditation from Advanced ED. They provide all courses required by the state of Missouri, in addition to Islamic studies, Quran, and Arabic classes to all their students from preschool through 11th grade.
Jamie will be giving a presentation about what it means to be a Muslim American. Jamie was born and raised in Kansas City, and she met her husband, Fatty, while she was working on a Bachelor's of Science in Early Childhood and Elementary Education at UMKC. Jamie and Fatty have 6 children and will soon have 2 grandchildren. Jamie teaches middle and high school social studies at the Islamic School of Greater Kansas City.
Awesome. Well, good morning, everybody. I brought with me some awesome students of mine. These guys are all in 9th and 10th grade. And so we are here to kind of just talk about our experience being a Muslim American. I'm actually technically from Independence, Missouri, home of Harry Truman. I've been Muslim since 1994, so over 20 years now. And I've been teaching at the Islamic school for probably almost that long. I came to Islam, just my mother's side of the family is mostly Catholic. My father's side was Jewish, but I never knew that until after my father passed away. They were very secular Jewish. They weren't, very religious. So I grew up in Independence, doing all the normal things American kids do. I have owned horses my whole life, so I apologize for my little boots being kind of slightly dirty because I was out in the pasture yesterday. And as far as being a Muslim American, I'm thinking you all probably have questions for me, but in my experience, I think before September 11th, 2001, things were maybe a little bit friendlier, but then after the World Trade Center bombing and all those horrible things that happened on September 11th, there's been a little bit more, I don't even know the word, uncomfortableness, I think, sometimes, when people don't know much about religion or know much about Muslims or Islam in general, and then you receive, oh, you're so very sweet. And it's sugar-free. She knows me so well. God bless you. Thank you. Very nice. That was very sweet of her. I'm not going to drink it while I'm talking. So, in Kansas City, we have a very diverse population. I don't really get stared at too much or anything, and my husband and I travel every summer. We take the kids on huge, gigantic road trips. Like the last one we went to was, I think, over 6,000 miles. We are we're maniacs. We go on the road for like 2 weeks or something, and we drive all over the place. So, and in all my travels across America, I'm very happy to say that most people are very friendly and very, welcoming and accommodating, and there's a lot of curiosity, I'll be at the store or something, because Walmart exists everywhere, right, guys? And I'm always having to run out of something. In fact, one summer, it was a school trip, you guys. I was taking students to Colorado. We loaded all of our bags in the car, and I got to Colorado 8 hours later and unloaded our bags. And guess whose bag wasn't there? Yes. My children did not put my bag in the car that we were driving in, so I had to go to Walmart and shop. But in my general experience, you might get some curious stares or just kind of look at you. And I always smile and say hi, what's up? And I think it kind of surprises people when they don't hear an accent, or they hear a Midwestern accent, because we all have accents, whether we want to believe it or not. We all have a dialect we speak, so. And it always throws them off guard, and they're like, where are you from? I'm like, Independence, Missouri. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah. So, everyone chooses what they want to believe in and what they, how they want to, what religion they want to follow. And it's a very individual path. And Muslims would say that only God guides or misguides. So in a nutshell, I feel like I was guided towards Islam, and it made sense to me, and you know, I can't imagine not being Muslim. So I'm sure you all will have some questions after we get finished talking, and I don't want to stand up here speaking the whole time because these guys are bored. So I know that my student Noah, like the prophet Noah has prepared something that he wanted to share with you. Basically, just kind of wanted to let you guys know what a typical day looks like for him. So he's going to speak with me with you all in just a moment. A typical day for me means I'm up and out of the house. I get up before sun rises so I can pray our morning prayer. I'm always rushing like a maniac to get to school, and I'm always yelling at one of my kids to get their socks and shoes on. I mean, for sure. And then I teach all day long. I teach American history, world geography, personal finance, and leadership this year. You never know what I'm going to teach because we're a small private school. How many students do you guys have total in your high school?
1,000.
Whoa!
1645.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Our entire school from kindergarten to 12th grade is 255. Yeah. So 1,600 is just like, I can't even fathom that. That's a lot of kids, lots of students. Our average class size is what, like
20 kids.
20? Yeah, 20 kids. And as our kids get older, like the 9th and 10th graders, a lot of times when it comes to like the end of the 8th grade years, some parents say, okay, you know, kind of want my kid to have 4 years of just high school. So some students transfer to a public school. Other students stay with the Islamic school and do like a dual credit program where they take classes at Longview Community College, which is like real close to the school. And they take classes, their general education courses there, and then whatever other classes they might need from us, and they finish by the end of 11th grade. So some of the kids do kind of a fast track program. But after school every day, I finally leave the building by 3:45 at the earliest. Sometimes us teachers work till way later than that at the school. Last night I think I was there till 5:30. And then I have to get home to cook and clean and care for my dog, my cats, my horses, and my goat. I have one goat right now. He's awesome. He's the best organic weed eater in the world. So I enjoy horseback riding. I enjoy my granddaughter. I've got another one on the way here at the beginning of May. She should be born. And I love coffee a lot. Coffee. Coffee. If you ever want to do anything for me, a latte would be great. No sugar, just milk and espresso. I'm good. And I hope that you all get to go to the gym. Do you get to go there later on today? Okay. Because we're going to have a table. We'll have Arabic coffee. Has anybody ever had it? What about Turkish coffee? Okay. Really strong stuff. We serve it in little tiny cups because it's like potent. And we have some little desserts and stuff, and some of our other students are over there setting up displays and things. So think about any questions that you might have about our experiences as Muslims here in America, or if you have any questions about our beliefs, just maybe take some notes while you're listening to Noah and everyone else, and we'll have a question and answer at the very end. Noah? Noah?
Hello, my name is Noah Robinson, like Noah. I am 15 years old, 2016, and I'll be talking to you guys about a normal day in a Muslim's life. At the beginning of the day, we usually just like get up at 6 o'clock. I get up at 6 o'clock because you have an early morning prayer for our Fajr. We have 5 prayers every day, and they're like evenly separated throughout the day. They're not long and hard, they're like kind of short, like 4 minutes and stuff, so it's pretty easy. The early morning prayer is Fajr, and when we get in ready to pray, we make this thing called wudu, like purification. We wash our hands, mouth, face, feet, and then go pray for like 4 minutes, and then we go do like brush our teeth, eat breakfast, get ready to go to school and everything. And then throughout the day, we just do like regular things, and then at like about like 2 o'clock, we have the next prayer. Every like day, not every day, but like once in a while it changes when the time changes. but right now it's like at 2 o'clock. It's the second prayer, it's called Dhuhr. And it's like some prayers are a little bit longer than others. Some prayer like 2 minutes, some prayer 4, and like longest like 5 minutes. Dhuhr is like about 4 minutes, and we just pray Dhuhr, and then next after that is like Asr. Then after like 5 o'clock, after we finish going to school at 5 o'clock, Asr it's same length as Dhuhr, and it's pretty simple. And like in our religion, we believe that like it's good for you to like take a nap after Asr because people usually get off of work around that time. But you don't have to, but like it's good for you to take a nap after there. And Maghrib, like Maghrib comes in when like it's about to be nighttime. You know that pink line is inside the sky? Yeah, that's when Maghrib comes in. And it's like pretty simple. It's like 3 minutes or so. And then I used to just stay at the mosque and I just hang around with my friends and stuff like that. And after that, at the end of the day, the fifth one is our Isha. And Isha is like probably the longest, but it's like 5 minutes still. And like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. It's pretty simple, but like most of the stuff we do every day is like simple stuff. Like I do like football, I play soccer with my friends, basketball, favorite sport is baseball though. And colors blue, favorite color is blue. We just do like simple things. The only thing different like we just separate our day throughout like our prayers. And we call prayer salah. Salah means prayer in Arabic, so we just say salah sometimes. And that's all really, like, everybody does something different every day, of course, but that's basically what we do every day. The prayers, we separate it, and then on Fridays, that's when, like, you know, Sunday church, on Fridays we have ours, and then everybody go there. And then Fridays, Dhuhr, we don't play Dhuhr, we play another salah called Jummah. After, like, we give a speech, and then after that we play Jummah. It's shorter than Dhuhr, but it's pretty simple, though. And then, like, we just hang around the masjid and stuff.
It's like social hour,
Yeah.
hang out with their friends and talk.
And that's mainly it. Like she said, she has horses. I used to live on a farm. I wasn't born in America. Both my parents were from Brooklyn, New York. Most of my family, my dad and mom's from upstate, like New York and New Jersey. But my dad was traveling, so I was born in Senegal, Dakar, it's West Africa. And my sister, she's not here, she's over there. She was born in Egypt. I have like a couple of sisters and brothers there. They're born in Egypt. And I have a sister up on Mauritania, is right over it. But Senegal is a small place. I was born on the farm there. The beach there is pink, like the sand is pink.
Wow.
And it's pretty nice though. I was born in the capital of Dakar. I traveled a lot, so I can't really say I grew up anywhere. Like I grew up basically 3 places. My dad always traveled. He traveled and taught around the world. He's an ex-Marine. My dad, I was raised basically in New York, Resort, and Orlando, Florida. But I've been to a lot of places. I've been to Turkey, I've been to Spain, I've been to Texas, California, Maryland, a lot of places. So I just travel a lot. And I kind of remember being in Turkey, but not really Spain. I was like a little kid. I was in Spain. But that's mainly what I do every day. Like I just like play games. I just go to my cousin's house. I box. I do martial arts, and that's really it. But,
Anybody here like sports? Okay. Anybody do boxing? Martial arts? Nobody martial artist here?
Video games, that's kind of it.
Yeah, video game. Well, Noah, do you play video games? I know you do.
Yeah, I play video games.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your favorite game to play?
Fortnite.
Call of Duty. How many of you guys are Call of Duty people? Yeah. Yeah, there's some in every gathering. Awesome.
my father, he wasn't born Muslim, but he turned Muslim when like after he went to the Marine, and then I met a Marine. He turned Muslim, and then he met a friend. They both turned Muslim, and they both started the Marine. I don't know how long he was in the Marine for, like a long time. But I don't know how long. And then he left the Marine, and then he became a martial art teacher at Kung Fu. And his teacher lives close by me, but he lives in Orlando, Florida. I have a lot of brothers. My father and my mother are not married anymore, so she has another wife. But I have a lot of, in Islamic, I have 4 wives. I'm not gonna have 4. I'm just gonna have 1. You have a choice.
4 would be really high maintenance, buddy.
You only have 4 if you only take care of them. You can't do it, then that's like bad. I have around like 10 sisters and 7 brothers. It's a lot. The oldest is a girl. Like the 4 oldest is girls, and the youngest is baby sister. She's a girl. So I'm the second son, and the second oldest. My brother, he's a month older than me. We have different moms, same dad. it's not, but we like grow up together. So sometimes we call ourselves twins. We always think the same and stuff. Yeah, my full name is Noah Mukhlis Ibn Robertson, Alexander Robertson. It's pretty long, but yeah, that's mostly about me and regular day in the Muslim life.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
You have 10 sisters?
I really like this.
Yes, yes, sir.
Just because of the study.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So it's a big extended family.
Yeah.
Hey Noah, where'd you get your shirt?
Oh, I got it from.
Or where is it
City
from?
Market. This shirt is from it's from Africa. I don't know exactly, but I got it from City Market. It's an African store. It was $20, but I got two of them. It's very nice though. It's called Dashiki.
The Shiki, that's
Yes.
the name of it?
Yes, it's called Dashiki. It's very nice.
Very nice, thank you for sharing. Kadaifa, you're probably one of the quietest people on the planet that I know. Actually, I brought my quietest people to talk. Do you have a question?
Oh yeah, you know, didn't he say he played soccer?
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah.
position do you play?
I play defender. I sometimes play goalie. Sometimes play
That's
defender.
what I play, goalie.
Yeah.
Gotta always keep your eyes open, don't you?
I don't play on the team. I just really like it's one of my favorite sports. I used to play on the team and Senegal, but stop.
Yeah, it's the main sport they play, isn't it?
No, actually,
Really?
they don't really do soccer. They do soccer, but they mostly do jiu-jitsu there and Brazilian jiu-jitsu there in Senegal.
Brazilian.
Well, most of the Brazilian experts go to Senegal to learn. So that's what
I think you had another question back there.
You said you traveled a lot. You've been to different cultures.
Yes.
How does being Muslim in other cultures compare to here in the United States, or even specifically in the Midwest?
Beautiful question.
A lot of coaches in everywhere. Everybody like it's really different everywhere. Everywhere you go is pretty different. Like in Turkey, there's like everybody dressed different there, so you would be like, oh, you have to go buy some clothes so you won't stand out or something like that. And like there's actually a lot of Muslims everywhere you go. In the Midwest, there's a lot of Muslims. There's actually a lot of Somalians by where I live. There's Somalians from Africa. They're mixed to Kenya, I believe. And compared to everywhere else, it's like I would say it's the same. It's just that like everybody has a different culture, so that's the only really difference it is. But like everywhere is the same. Everybody's welcoming. Like you would think everybody would be like no, they're with you, but everybody's actually welcoming. And like when we go to Midwest is nice like America, and everywhere else is nice too. Like everybody's welcoming. That's all I say. And everybody just has different cultures.
Excellent, thank you for sharing. Hidayah, Deifa, Muhammad, anybody? Nuh was the one that came prepared. Muhammad, I wasn't sure if he was coming with me today, but I'm so glad he made it. And Hidayah felt like she wanted to come here and talk to you guys or answer questions or anything. Sure.
Hi.
One of my favorite students.
I'm kind of losing my voice, so I'm sorry. My name is Hidayah Abdul. I am Muslim American. I'm 16. I'm a sophomore. I wanted to come because there was all boys, and like I wanted to give you like a girl's perspective. So I guess I'll start. My mom was born Muslim, but my mom's mother, she was not. She was born Catholic, and she was Catholic for most of her life. When she went to college, she came into Islam, and she came from a really big family. So her becoming Muslim was like kind of a shock. Like they didn't like disown her. It was just they had to get something to get used to. My father, he was born in Texas, born and raised. He moved to Kansas City when he was in college, I believe. And he became Muslim when he was in college. I wanted to come because both my parents were, one of my parents was a Muslim. And so I felt like it was like something different, I guess. Anyway, the typical life in a Muslim girl is obviously different because with a boy you won't be able to tell they're Muslim or not, even if they're not doing dumb things, or you can't really tell. But with a girl, when you walk out, as soon as you walk out, seeing people looking at you, you can definitely tell she's Muslim. Like, and you can always tell, like, maybe even if she wears a black scarf or whatever, you can just obviously tell. A typical time for me is you get stared at a lot. A lot. I mean, it's kind of weird sometimes, but you get over it, really. Because, when you think about it, like, it's my choice, So like my dad obviously he's from Texas, so my aunt she's lived in Texas. When I go to Texas, she's like 2 hours away from Dallas. She lives in Tyler. It's really different there. Like people, they're like not as open or whatever, but it's kind of tough sometimes. People don't know it, or they're not trying to, but like she said, when 9/11 happened, it set a lot of things back. Now, it's like I wanted to speak also because us as people were the reason these things happened. Because now that 9/11 happened, now every shooting that happens on the news, every mass shooting, every robbery, everything, every terrorist attack, all us as Muslims are always holding our breath, hoping, I hope it wasn't a Muslim. I hope he wasn't Arab. I hope they went this and that. Because a lot of people, they misjudge. Culture is so different from religion. Like, you should never put culture together with religion. Like, it's a totally different thing. And that's the main problem, because with us girls, you can see our religion. You can see us because we wear this. We wear a scarf. We cover ourselves. And it's, like, I just wanted to speak to that because it's a little tougher on the girls.
I mean, like, if anybody saw Hudayfa on the street in his hoodie, in his Kansas City Chiefs hoodie, you'd have no clue he was Muslim, you know? None.
I wouldn't even care.
You just like the Chiefs, huh?
Yeah, it's just
Awesome.
Latina.
How
Don't you
come
say anything,
The
Jason.
boys have more, or the men have more liberties than the women.
That's not true.
Well, they can dress like that and you can't.
That's,
I'm just, I mean, how come they can do that and you can't?
first, it's choice, it's modesty. Think about it. In Islam, both genders are equal. Yes, they have a little more responsibility because they're head of the household, but we're both equal. The way I dress is my choice. It's the way I'm supposed to. It's modesty. Think about it. Girls are always worried about what they're going to be labeled. There are so many names people call girls just because of how they dress. So so with me, I don't have to worry about my reputation because I'm just modesty. I don't show everything. Like nothing is up to imagination. When I wear this, you're forced to respect me.
People deal more with and I mean, obviously I've been Muslim for over 20 years, and I've lived like both lives. I've lived a non-Muslim life and I've lived a Muslim life. I used to work at AT&T in the corporate world, and I'd been there for like 12 and a half years when I became Muslim. And I went to go pray one day because it was during the month of Ramadan, where Muslims fast from sunup to sunset, and we don't put anything in our mouths. No food, no water, no nothing. But it's more than just like a physical fast. It's also like an emotional and a mental fast. We watch our temper. We don't want to get angry with anybody for any reason. We're supposed to be thinking about how many blessings, like counting our blessings and saying thanks, and a time of contemplation and all of that. So I went to pray. It was the middle of the day prayer, like Noah was talking about, the prayer. I went to go pray. And I walked into the bathroom and I washed for prayer, and I put my scarf on because I was not wearing it full time at that point. I went to my desk, I put my little prayer rug down, I said my prayer, did my whole prayer and everything. And I sat there and I thought, I'm going to wear my scarf from now on. And it was really cute because everybody at AT&T was like, oh, it's Ramadan. And I'm like, yeah, that's right, it's Ramadan. Because I didn't really feel like explaining myself, honestly. So the month of Ramadan came and went, and then everybody was like, you're still wearing that. And I'm like, yeah. And then I was kind of comfortable in my own skin to where I could say, yes, I've decided that this is best for me. And it was hilarious, you guys, because it was really cute. You have to understand, I started working at AT&T when I was 17, barely 17. And the people that I worked with all of a sudden changed the way they behaved in front of me, which was hysterical because, my God, I'm the same person I was when I was, younger. And you've been working with me for how long? but all of a sudden people would watch what they said. Like somebody would like accidentally let out a cuss word and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, Jamie. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I just cracked up. I'm like, yeah, it's okay, guys. Sometimes, things fly out, it's not a problem. I'm not a saint. I'm a person just like all of you. But it was my choice to wear a scarf, and it was my choice. By the way, I'm going to confess something to you all, and she can attest to this because we just came back from an awesome class trip to Colorado. Yes, during our spring break, and we were hiking in the mountains. As a general rule, I do not normally wear an abaya. This is an abaya, what I'm wearing. It's just a long dress. Usually I'm kind of an Old Navy Gap kind of girl. I wear my jeans all the time. I love them. And if it's not jeans, then I'm in my yoga pants and I'm wearing my boots because I'm out with the horses and doing whatever I need to do. So the kind of the perception that women are suppressed or don't have as many freedoms or liberties, it's really
Culture.
yeah, it's kind of it can be cultural, like for example, Saudi Arabia, where the women all covered, that's their culture. It's not, obviously we're not covering our faces, we're not wearing a big burqa, so some of it's cultural.
So, I've heard from a lot of people from, who have had experiences with, the Muslim culture. I've noticed that a lot of them, in certain countries, aren't allowed to wear, bright colors. But this girl over here, she's wearing, this cute little salmon thing, which looks great with your skin tone, by the way. Don't ever dull your sparkle. But,
Yeah, this is Pakistani, I believe, right?
But, is that, a specific country or culture that does that? Or is it...
Yeah. See,
Is it
I
Middle
said-
Eastern?
Yeah, Middle Eastern. Like
Yeah.
I said earlier, and it's God specifically told us that we are equal.
Yeah.
Because think about it, if they really followed the religion and not the culture, you wouldn't have all this oppression, all these problems that you have now in the other countries. We will live like better people, to be honest.
So I think that it's important that we distinguish culture and religion because a lot of people get confused.
I totally
For sure,
agree.
for sure.
Yeah.
Excellent, yeah, excellent observation.
And
And I know you had your hand up, I'm
No,
sorry,
that's
so go
fine.
ahead.
You kind of addressed it, but it led to the question. So the girls at your school, some of them do, and some of them don't wear the head
Do we
cover?
have anyone that doesn't?
But it's their own choice.
It's their choice.
It's really, when you're a little kid, they're not
I
forcing
know.
you to wear it. But once you hit puberty, then you need to start.
You're encouraged because, once you hit puberty, guys start looking at you, and what do you want? What do you want your mate for life? What do you want your spouse to be attracted to? Sure, there's always the physical attraction part, but dealing with somebody intellectually is so much more higher functioning.
Like, do they let you wear the scarf thingy when you're at work?
When I go home, or when she's at home, or if we were just in a room full of women, we don't have to cover.
Yeah.
It's modesty in front of people who I could possibly marry.
Oh, okay. The whole thing about mate and stuff, that was a weird way to start that question, but that's is courtship and our relationships and the way that men approach
That's an
women and
awesome
stuff, is that
question.
different with
We
your
don't date. We don't
Yeah.
date in the American sense of the word dating. But what I will tell you is back in the 1800s in the United States, this whole thing of courtship or courting was very much the way Muslims do it. If Noah, don't plan on this anytime soon, your education comes first, sir. But if Noah sees some girl and he's like, oh, mom, dad, I'm in love, or whatever, then more than likely he would go to his parents and say, Mom, Dad, there's this girl, I really, really think she's amazing. Please, can you go talk to her parents? Well, to be honest with you, Noah better have all his ducks in a row. He better have his education, he better be able to support her. You know what I mean? Because any Muslim parents of a beautiful young girl would be like, what's in it for you from this guy? What can he offer you? Are you going to have a stable life together and all this stuff? So let's say things go great. Noah sees this girl and his parents talk to her parents. Then they get engaged, okay? But they're engaged, they can go out together to get to know each other with a chaperone. And that was the way courtship went here in the United States of America for a very long time.
So
I don't know when that changed, it just changed. I think probably after the Industrial Revolution, probably after the 1920s with the flappers and the change in attitudes here in America about society and social norms and stuff.
So,
Yes, oh, I'm sorry, go on.
So from what I've heard, generally Muslims start out, that like people that transfer into being a Muslim start out as like Catholic and that kind of thing.
Me personally, hold on, because I wasn't Catholic. My family, my mom's side was Catholic. My dad's side was, we just didn't hang out with them much. I didn't grow up going to church, really. I went when there was like somebody died, somebody got married, you know, that kind of thing. So I did not come from a religious background.
My grandma did come from a religious background.
Yeah, her grandmother did.
Well, my question was, have you ever met anybody that like transferred into Muslim that were pagan or atheist or anything of the sort?
My father and some of his brothers and my grandmother, she was a Christian and she was really religious and she became Muslim. And I don't know exact age, she was like in college, I believe. And that's when she became Muslim. She was like, my father, he was Jewish and he became Muslim.
For me, I would say I was agnostic. Seriously. For a hot minute when I was 12 or 13, I thought about being Catholic for a hot minute. I don't know what happened with that, it just went away. But for me personally, I just always felt like there was something greater. There's so much order in the world and in the universe. It's hard for me with my intellect, my brain, to think that there's no plan and that it just is all happen chance and it just got here, you know. The more you know about science, the more you know about, you know, things like bees and how they work together and how they, you know, that physiologically a bee is not even supposed to be able to fly. Yeah. Their body mass is bigger than their little tiny wings, and yet they can fly.
That happens.
You know, all these different things. Yeah.
Yeah,
The Bee movie was great. It educated everybody. But, you know, so for me, yeah, there are a lot of people that are either, they say they don't know whether or not God exists, or maybe they're atheist, or maybe they come from some other faith background. It's really, from a Muslim perspective, Muslims believe that either you are just guided to believe in whatever faith you believe, or you're not guided to it. I mean, it's a very individual thing. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I had a question. Muhammad, I think his youngest wife was like 16 years old.
I believe, now please know that I am not a scholar, but I will say she was his best friend. You're talking about Aisha. And she was the daughter of his best friend, Abu Bakr. And culturally speaking, it's very weird for us to accept a 9-year-old girl getting married. Did you know that the United States of America still has in their books, in their state laws, children as early as 13 years of age getting married? It's legal for 13-year-olds. Now, with that being said, Aisha was married to the Prophet, but it does not mean that what you and I think of as being a married couple where there's sex involved, okay? And in fact, that probably didn't happen until she was older. She was actually one of the most amazing people because she was younger, and I guess she had a really good memory. So she wrote down a lot of the things the Prophet would say or the things that he would do. They're called as traditions. In Arabic, we say hadith. And so she's really very highly valued because she documented a lot of things and kind of helps us with our understanding of how we should treat others, how we should treat our neighbors, how we should treat our relatives, how we should treat our coworkers, people on the street, our neighbor, you know, whatever. So,
like there's a hadith that says what the Prophet said. He said that to be good to your parents because paradise is at the feet of your mothers, like stuff like that.
Right.
My main question was, Muhammad is highly regarded as the final prophet. And there's a lot of things that point to he had relations with her between the age of 8 and 12. And he had multiple wives. And I was just wondering, if the main prophet had young wives and condoned multiple wives, like, do you do that today?
First of all, that's an awesome question, and I love that you're asking those burning questions, because those are the misconceptions that exist out there, and it's probably one of the really bigger ones. Prophet Muhammad was married to a woman who was way older than him, and actually she admired him. Her name was Khadijah. Khadijah admired this young man because he was kind of known as being trustworthy and an honest person. And this was before he received revelation. This was before he was, a prophet. And she admired him so much so that she asked him to work for him. She was a really, really wealthy woman. She was a merchant. She was a merchant, so she traded goods all across the Middle East and everything. And so she hired him, and they got married. And he was married to her for 26 years, I believe. Anyway, she passed away. She was older than him, like way older than him. Like she was 40 when they got married, and he was like 23 or something. So, yeah. So she passed away. The entire time they were married, he did not have any other wives. He was married only to her. When he had this habit of going to a cave and just kind of chilling, reflecting, meditating. It was just his habit. And that's when, according to the Quran, which is our holy book, the angel Gabriel, or Jibril in Arabic, came down and told Muhammad, read in the name of your Lord. And he was like, what are you talking about? I don't know how to read. He was illiterate, which most people were at that time, so totally normal. Anyway, he was very, very shaken by his experience, and the first person he told was Khadijah, his wife. And she said, if that's what you say happened, I believe you 100%. Go talk to my uncle. He's a Christian, priest or whatever. Go talk to my uncle and let him know what happened. So they were married for an extended, long period of time. No other wives. And the wives that Prophet Muhammad took after Khadijah died, there was always a reason for it. Maybe this one's husband passed away, and she needed someone to support her because she didn't have any other family. With the case of Aisha, Abu Bakr's daughter, Abu Bakr and him were, BFFs, right? Very, very close friends. And Abu Bakr said, I can think of no better human on the planet that my daughter could marry than the Prophet. And so he married his daughter to the Prophet. As far as when marriage was consummated, I know that they had been married for a while before that happened. I am not a scholar. I do not have that information. I could find it for you if you really wanted. But although, who said, no, it had to have been you. Although Muslim men are allowed to marry up to 4 women.
Most of them.
Yeah, the overwhelming majority do not do that. Because there are conditions. You have got to be able to provide for those women equally. So let's say you're married to your first wife and you bought her a $300,000 home on a 10-acre plot. If you marry 3 other women, you better be able to do that for each of them. Not only that, think about the emotional strain, let's put it that way, that it would take to be able to treat 4 individuals fairly and equally, Most men do not do that. Most men don't do that.
But it is allowed.
It is allowed. And I think, historically speaking, I think that after times of war or invasion, where women are left widowed and they have young children to take care of, if this man is willing to come and help support that family, then he can't do that unless he has a relationship with her, unless he's married.
Can women have multiple husbands, or is that okay?
No, I wouldn't want one.
So men can do it, but women can't.
Go ahead. There are more women to men anyway in the world population,
Right.
so, go ahead.
Are you guys like not allowed to curse, or is that like against your
We
religion?
really try hard not to do that. But that's the same in any religion, right? You're really not supposed to. You're
What
not
happens
supposed
if you? What happens if you do though?
to. If it flies out, like in a moment of anger, like the other day when I got trampled by my horse and she stepped on my shin and, yeah, and the SH word kind of flew out, then you say, God forgive me, God forgive me, God forgive me. Who had your hand up? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Do your clothes get hot?
Does it get hot?
Yeah.
Wearing a scarf and everything?
No, not really.
To be honest, when it's 100 degrees out, it doesn't matter what you're wearing. Have any of you ever seen photographs from like National Geographic or wherever of the people that live in the Saharan Desert? The Tuareg people? You should see how they dress. They wear layers of clothing, and even the men covered. And apparently it's like a air conditioning system.
And it protects them from the
Yeah,
sun because
and it protects them from the
Like,
sun and everything.
I basically live in Texas every summer. We just eat
How
light
many of you have
clothes.
been to Texas? It's so humid, go ahead.
I basically live in Texas every summer. We just eat light clothes and like the scarves. I have different kinds. I have cotton scarf, polyester, I have silk, things like that. It depends on what fabric you wear, but no, I don't really get hot.
Yeah, and in the weather, we wear thicker scarves because we're warm. And I'll have to tell you a funny confession. My mother is 83, and I take her all over the place, and we hang out all the time. And in the winter, you know, bless her little heart, she's got like short gray hair, and I think, isn't she freezing? Because there's nothing on her head. And I'm all wrapped up thinking, I'm toasty, you know? But anyway, no, you just are used to it. Sometimes I get home and I'm so busy and I'm always in a rush. That's most moms are anyway. I run home and I'm cooking and cleaning, and my husband will come home and he'll be like, "Why are you going somewhere?" I'm like, "No, why?" And he's like, "You're still wearing a scarf." I'm like, "Oh yeah, well I didn't have time to take it off," and I'm like cooking at the stove, you know. It's like, okay, whatever, praise the
Do you have a
Lord.
question?
Yeah, I have a super petty girly question.
Sure.
Are you guys allowed to wear makeup? Because I would die.
You would die if you weren't able to.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can wear makeup. We're discouraged from really wearing it outside because your natural beauty should be enough, you know.
And who you
don't
are
want
as a
to like
person.
draw attention and go and have guys go, "Whoa," you know.
It's my reputation again.
Yeah, like modesty, essentially.
Yeah, and modesty. Just be modest. I wear eyeliner.
I just think
I
it's
can go out.
fun.
Yeah.
We've got about
I was going to ask. I know we're running low.